It has now been almost a week since the Oblivion Remaster initially came out, and it has completely taken over the internet with memes, with hundreds of thousands of concurrent players. In fact, it does feel like everybody is so focused on this, but it has stirred up a surprising amount of debate and controversy, which I kind of want to talk about. But let me just say that I am very much completely in love with the game. It's awoken something in me, it feels like, which is that I decided to buy the game on PlayStation 5, and I had a major surgery on Thursday, so I've pretty much just been stuck in bed sitting here playing games. But while I'm climbing mountains and crafting magic, becoming master of the arena, or right now I'm almost done with the Dark Brotherhood questline and stuff, I've been doing something I haven't done in a very long time, which is that me and a bunch of real-life friends, we all decided to jump in Discord calls. We've just been sitting in Discord talking and all playing it on our individual PCs, and we all have a rule: no Googling. You can use a physical strategy guide or you can ask somebody for help, but you actually have to just figure it out, whether it is finding locations or tracking targets or trying to find some hidden clues about what to craft next. We've actually just basically had playground rules. If somebody can't help you, then you can't do it. In playing this game, it's been interesting to watch that all the debate, the love, the hatred, it's more than just nostalgia. This remake, I think, has very much started to stoke those flames about the fact that the current gaming industry is, in a lot of cases, misses something. It does feel like there is a passion in Oblivion that you don't feel in other games. In fact, I've seen a lot of people even starting to hate Skyrim because in some ways Oblivion feels better. But let me talk about all the different angles of hate, because I find the controversy of this, I find it to be productive. But let me see what I'm talking about. Hi, hope you're having a great day. I am DreamcastGuy. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, let me be clear, 90% of people are very much loving this game. I feel like the criticisms of it are stuff that it feels like healthy debate. People kind of crunching down on a game that it's satisfying to play. I love pictures like this. Ma'am, I don't want to alarm you, but there is a portal to hell in your backyard. I think what really intrigues me most, more than anything else, is the fact that the Oblivion Remaster, it's beautiful, it plays fantastic, but beyond just that, I like the fact that it's not just old school fans playing it. This isn't just people that grew up with it going back and being able to overlook the flaws. There are newcomers that are playing this game right now for the first time ever in 2025, and they're blown away. They're impressed. I'm seeing young people play it and say, wait a minute, this is what came before Skyrim? Why is it so much bigger and in a lot of cases better? And of course, a lot more beautiful. But the first criticism we're going to bring up, I've seen a lot of people complaining about the fact that it is Unreal Engine 5. Now, problems aside, it definitely has a lot of weird quirks. They've already rushed out multiple patches. The game hard crashes like crazy on PlayStation 5. I've actually heard a lot of people saying it has all sorts of memory leak issues on Xbox. I've seen people saying it has all sorts of performance issues, especially on the PC. But even stuff like this, people saying Unreal Engine 5 runs like absolute dog water. Frame rate drops to half when you go outside. Can't even hit 60 FPS. I've seen a lot of people saying that just in general, the game does not run good, which does suck because anytime you take an older game and spruce it up, obviously they completely rebuilt the game in Unreal Engine 5, but it is weird to think about this game that used to be like 5 gigs is now 150 gigs to install it. It takes like an hour to unpack the shaders and still crashes constantly. That's a performance issue. That's not the game. That is the performance problems that absolutely will be fixed, but it is immediately a problem. Here's the debate, though, that I really wanted to focus on the most, because I find this to be such a major focal point. A lot of people seem to be mad, legitimately upset by the amount of love the Oblivion Remaster is getting. In same post, I'm not even hating on the remaster. I'm just surprised by how many people apparently do not want to play new games ever. This year, it has been 14 years since the release of Skyrim. comments will say this is not to keep, but I think comments will say it's not that deep, but I think general audiences don't even like games. I find this weird that some people have this weird philosophy that a lot of gamers just hate all games, which I still feel like is such a weird, like even at face value, I feel like that's such a weird thing to say. I feel like I like this. A fresh coat of paint on a game from 2006 getting over 3 million players says a lot about modern games. 99% of the best games ever made are not from 25. New does not mean good or better. Here's my thing is that I feel like the Oblivion Remaster is very much sort of showing the fact that in a lot of ways, current gaming at times feels like a toxic relationship. You ever date like a completely crazy girl, somebody that stays up till 3 a.m. and is super emotionally weird, and you just get super used to the fact that somebody is so hot and cold and so erratic, you become adapted to it, and eventually one day you break up, and then you get into a normal relationship, not even a healthy relationship, just literally a normal relationship after it. You kind of go, oh man, I've been putting up with so much. In a lot of ways, I do feel like the current gaming industry kind of feels like that erratic girl. All these battle passes and microtransactions. I mean, game companies straight up talk about the fact that their goal is to get you addicted to their games as a service. We want to make it so you don't play anything else. We want to make it so you're so afraid of missing that next big update, that next big event. You will only play, you will only buy, you will only spend in our game. Whereas when you play something like this, yeah, I paid $50 for this on the PlayStation 5, but I'm getting my $50 worth. I'm going to platinum this. I am wandering the countryside. I'm seeing craziness. I'm dying ridiculous deaths because I fell off a cliff like an idiot. There is something in retro games, even when they're re-released, that I feel like people kind of miss. A completeness. Now, this isn't to say that all games are bad. Obviously, recently I reviewed Expedition 33. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. This is now one of the highest rated games of all time, and it came out the same time as the Oblivion Remaster. If you're looking for another game that's absolutely insane, this is also on Game Pass. This is primo perfection. But I almost feel like this shows the fact that I'm not saying that all games are bad, only old games are good. It's the fact that the Oblivion Remaster, it shows the fact that gamers have begun to miss how feature-complete games were. Even if they were glitchy or busted, they still were a finished product in their own right. Now, here's a debate that to me felt super weird. This is Mike Ibarra. This guy was the previous president of Blizzard, so obviously the guy in charge of World of Warcraft and Diablo and Overwatch. And I find this take to be truly brain-melting. Now, I want to say I actually like a lot of Mike Ibarra's opinions because even when he is dead wrong, I love to think about a guy who has made billions of dollars in the industry. I'm curious about his takes, his points of view. And he says, I'm skeptical about 20-year-old remasters. What once was fantastic, now remastered, will never hold up against modern masterpieces like Elden Ring. The bar has simply moved from safe open world RPGs to what Elden Ring brought us all. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I'm not. Now, I find this weird because, honestly, yes, Elden Ring is one of the best games ever made, but I feel like trying to retroactively compare, or in a lot of ways it feels like downplay the importance of older games, I feel like it's a needless mistake, especially coming from Blizzard, where one of their biggest games right now is World of Warcraft Classic, which is by itself literally a 21-year-old game. It's really funny specifically to have the ex-president of Blizzard act like old games need some special separate category. But a lot of people are like, okay, I've never seen someone get proven wrong this hard. Oblivion was beloved for a reason, and thinking a faithful remaster wasn't going to sell like hotcakes and chart everywhere is actual delusion. Now, let's just be clear. I feel like part of the conversation around this is the fact that Oblivion is a fantastic game, and this remaster is in a lot of ways closer to a remake. It does have new spells. It does have the ability to sprint. It does have extra cool details, like the fact you can actually climb the mountains on the northern side of the map and actually look and see the beginning, the edges, certain landmarks in Skyrim. There is additional stuff that makes this more than just your typical remaster. It does also help that Oblivion is one of the best damn games of all time, so even giving it a fresh coat of paint, obviously that does a lot to very much impress the fans. But I feel like even when I see the fact that this has hundreds of thousands of concurrent players, I feel like, to me, it shows the fact that people want something that is going to challenge them, that is going to actually take their tastes in a direction maybe you weren't ready for. Oblivion feels like a more fantastical Skyrim. Oblivion feels like high fantasy to Skyrim's Norse fantasy. I vastly prefer the former to the latter. For over 10 years, I have cried the Song of Oblivion, praising it as far superior to Skyrim in spite of its flaws, because, yeah, the game can be janky at times. Many have come to challenge my opinion over the years, citing its leveling, clunky combat, stiff voice acting, but more and more, I've always thought Oblivion is better, and I couldn't place why, and now I realize it. I just don't want to be a Viking. Skyrim is Norse fantasy, Oblivion is classic fantasy. I feel like the thing that really gets me, beyond all the love, beyond all the screenshots, beyond all the praise and walkthroughs and people talking about crazy build guides, I think something that shines through more than anything else is that Oblivion does not hold your hand. It can be tough at times because a lot of the quests are straight up a little bit misleading. A lot of times you do have to do some actual legwork, asking questions, figuring stuff out. I think people are kind of interested in a game that does something that in 2025, a lot of experiences are afraid to do, which is throw you in the deep end. Now, I bought Skyrim like 15 different times. I've played a lot of Skyrim. A lot of people have played a lot of Skyrim, right? But one of the things that made Skyrim so damn fun is that it was so incredibly approachable. Sneaking, combat, magic, craziness, quests, shouts. It was so dang playable, anybody could pick it up. It could be your first open world game ever, and you'd immediately understand it. There's even talks about the fact that Breath of the Wild was heavily inspired by the size, the scope, the traversal of Skyrim. But I think some people now are kind of like, hey, I miss the fact that some stuff used to be fun, even if it wasn't streamlined. Like this. Things you could do in Oblivion's gameplay, they removed in Skyrim. Jump higher. Attack while jumping. The dodge step. Power attack while falling, so you can bring the hammer down. Being able to jump off a water surface while doing water walking. Now, a lot of this stuff isn't too crazy. The athletics stat, making it so you can basically build up your cardio. The general overworld of just hearing NPCs. You can actually just listen to people talk in the background and it'll give you new quests. NPCs have schedules. That way you actually have to sit there, and there's stores that are only open during a particular part, so you can actually time your events. There's a lot of stuff that just in general, look at this list here. This stuff to me, I feel like, shows the fact that all of this, a lot of this is not necessary. Some of this I'd even argue isn't good. Some of this stuff I think is, in a way, bad design, right? I think what's good about this, though, is that I think people kind of crave a game that is too big. A game that does have mechanics you're never going to interact with. Right now, I am super into picking locks. I love just the fact that you're actually sitting there tapping tumblers and figuring stuff out. I've been trying to level up my mercantile. I've been chugging potions of speech to power level and haggle and just try to make tens of thousands of gold in Oblivion Remastered. Stuff like that is so fun. It's so quirky. And it's stuff that just doesn't feel the same in Skyrim. I think part of the hatred that people are feeling towards Skyrim, towards the industry, is that, in a way, I think people realized what they've missed. The Oblivion Remaster is fantastic, but also think about it in the context where we had Morrowind. Morrowind was great. It was on the original Xbox. 3 years later, we had the Oblivion. Oblivion was fantastic. Oblivion on the Xbox 360 with its crazy lighting and super goofy voices and stuff like that. And then, literally, 5 years after that, we got the amazingness of Skyrim. And then Skyrim is the last we got. 14 years of no Elder Scrolls. I mean, yeah, we got Starfield, which was a giant wet fart and is now the most hated Bethesda game of all time. Yeah, we got some great stuff, obviously, like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, and to a lesser degree, Fallout 4, which I do still like Fallout 4. But I think some people are kind of saying the industry has lost something. That Oblivion is a great example of the way that games used to be. Weird, quirky, obtuse, vague, but damn fun and damn charming. I wanted to just do an off-the-cuff rant. How are you guys feeling about the Oblivion Remaster? Are you playing it as much as I am? Are you as addicted as I am? Because I cannot stop playing. I'm going to get the platinum. In fact, I'm already pretty damn close to the platinum, or I guess not really. I got to do the Fighters Guild, the Thieves Guild, and the Mages Guild. But I am loving it. How do you feel about it? And what's been the craziest thing you've seen thus far besides, well, maybe the lusty Argonian maid? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.